evening. Welcome to the January 24th, 2024 meeting of the Town of Southampton Conservation Board. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the board's meetings are being held both in person at Town Hall and via video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting via video conference can be found on the town's website at the Town Clerk's Agendas and Meetings portal. You can also watch the live stream video and submit written comments for the public record through the town website. If you are attending via Zoom and wish to speak during the meeting, then please click the raise hand icon. As a reminder to all applicants, agents, and members of the public who wish to speak at the meeting, please state your name and handle of residence for the record. Thank you. I invite everyone to rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have enough to vote on the minutes of the last meeting. What is your pleasure on the minutes of January 10th, 2024?
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I was not
And
here.
one abstention. Public hearings A 022-056, Alexander C. Fraden and others. And the applicant requests adjournment to April 24th, 2024. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak in this application before we adjourn? Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn to April 24th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A 022-059, St. George Camp LLC.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Aaron Tertunian, First Coastal, West Hampton Beach. On behalf of the applicant, I'm joined this evening with Mr. Jim Hume, Esquire of Kelly and Hume, and Mr. Alan Litt of 20 St. George. Thank you for hearing us. I'd like to hand out some plans.
Have they been stamped?
They haven't been stamped.
Yeah, they're stamped.
They are?
Yeah.
It's on the
Oh,
ball,
yes.
come on.
It's very light, Aaron.
I didn't do it. Want to borrow my glasses?
No, I'm gonna need it, sir.
It is late.
Before we start, I want to thank Marty for giving me some feedback today. Marty, thanks for taking the time during, I know, an always busy day, so I appreciate it.
What a guy.
I briefly want to go over, what we're doing here and then go into the revisions we made to the plan in response to the comments made by the board. So this is a 98,000 square foot lot, which means it's a little more than 2 acres, like 2.5 acres. So it's a pretty big lot. But the development that we're proposing here is going to be well within the 20% lot coverage required by the town. What I did was, and it should be hopefully in your packet, on the site plan in front of you, I have numbered items, and that's tied to a activity sheet that hopefully you have, so you can look at you can look at each activity we're doing, and you can see where it is on the plan. I have. Right, it would be attached to the letter, right. So I won't go through all 27 activities.
Thank God.
So what I wanted to say was that, we listened to what the board had to say, and what came through was, loud and clear, was do something about the addition to the house on the northeast side, which is a two-story addition, and maximize the buffer zone. And so we went through a couple of different iterations before we came up with the plan that's in front of you now. So we'll just, focus on that area a little bit. So the two-story addition now is 100 feet from the wetlands at its closest point. In fact, the majority of it is greater than 100 feet from the wetlands. And that is shown in the green rectangle. You'll see a bunch of red items on there. Those are items all to be removed, and that includes the sanitary system, which I went into great detail on at the last meeting, as well as a portion of a deck and stairs, the garage, the pool house. All those are being removed. And then what we've done with the buffer zone is to maximize the buffer zone in front of the existing home to just giving a 15-foot buffer off the house as per the fire department desires. And then on the north end and the south end, we've gone to the maximums, to the standard 75 feet, and then just sort of drew that around the building. So the current buffer zone is something around 6,000 square feet, about 6,500 square feet. The new proposed buffer zone, you'll see in the bottom, is almost 21,000 square feet. So we've expanded that, as you can see, substantially. All of the development with the pool and the pool house and the sport court, all that is greater than 100 feet away from the wetlands, so that meets the standard as well. We have the IA system. We realign the driveway, so the driveway stays on the property. There isn't any circle through the adjoining property. And then there are some additions on the landward side of the home. Those are shown in green. That's a one-story addition in what is the southeast corner, and a one-story addition in the northeast corner. And then you'll see these are the items that are in red are ones that Marty and I discussed today, just for clarification. So at the top, there's an existing building in that brown cross-hatched area. That's an existing home, part of the existing home. That is going to stay. All they're going to do is put a new roof on that. So they're just going to make the roof a little bit higher to create a.
You're gonna replace the garage, Alan?
The garage is gone.
But are you gonna replace it?
No, not going to replace the garage. There was a concern, I think, from the neighbor about the location of the garage being very close to the northerly property line. So the board understands I forwarded the neighbor's attorney these plans today, and offered to have any conversations, but advise them that the garage that they had specifically concerns about in their letter has been removed entirely.
Just for my own
The addition
personal,
there is at the 20-foot setback, which complies with the R20 zoning.
just for my own personal ignorance, a project this size, they're eliminating garage and they're not replacing it?
Yeah. More important to have the house. The other item in the middle in red, the deck to remain as is, that's the light brown area on the waterward side. Marty had asked for clarification on that, so that basically is going to stay the way it is right now, except for the stairs that are right there are just going to be converted from wood to stone. But there's no change there. And then the dark brown area is the existing home that's going to be reconstructed. It's going to be deconstructed down to the deck, so it's going to, the foundation and the deck will remain, and then reconstructed as a one-story home. And the reason that we're doing that, our original plan, just to review, our original plan was just to change the roof, because what the owner wants is a cathedral ceiling inside. But when the builder looked at the structure, the structure can't support we can't meet any of the codes for insulation, energy, and structure, because this is built with 2x4s, originally, I think, in the 20s and renovated in the 50s. So the only way, we could go in and sister up every stud, but that really doesn't make a ton of sense or financial sense either. That is the rationale for maintaining that and for deconstruction and then reconstruction within the same footprint. And then we have, as you can see, the green dry wells throughout the property, and the stormwater drainage calculations are there, so those dry wells fulfill that, and there is a separate dry well for the pool itself.
How many square feet would the entire, as you say, house?
It's just over 6,000. More? Well, no, just footprint. You're talking just footprint house, right?
No, the whole house.
The living area within?
Yes.
Oh, probably 8 or 9. But footprint's about 6. Because this is, the brown and green additions are all 1-story here in the front. The only 2-story is the new addition in the northeast corner that's attached by the breezeway.
That new addition is intriguing.
In what way?
The length, the width, I mean.
Yeah, well, the owners
It's just my curiosity.
Well,
I'm not-
the owners have kids and grandkids, and they need a place to stay.
So it's gonna be all bedrooms there?
No, there's gonna be, I think, 3 bedrooms, and then there's gonna be some mechanical room and storage. But I believe that we, straightforward address the concerns raised by the board. We got that northeast addition to the 100 feet. We maximized the buffer zone, and as I said in my cover letter, we'll put together a planting plan for the new buffer zone with a list that Marty will provide us.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, Aaron.
Take it, Mr.
Good evening, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. As the house being demolished down to the foundation, with the exception of that northeast wing and just deck is being retained, it would still seem environmentally better and less costly to consolidate the house and shift it further landward in order to get more of the house construction out of the most flood-prone portions of the property. That being said, the plans that were presented tonight seem to be responsive to the board's comments and guidance. So I think you can close the hearing. At the same time, I would yet encourage the applicant to further explore alternative designs. It just seems to make a lot more sense to consolidate the construction and shift it a little bit further from the water. Thank you.
Any comments by the board? We have enough information to make a decision, so we can close it. Is that your desire?
That is our desire.
If you wish to do something different before the time that the permit is issued, we can always reopen it.
Very well.
Is there a motion to close? Oh, is there anyone in the public who wants to speak on this application? There being none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's nice to be the only one again.
Now I'm going to stand alone.
Good evening.
You too.
Good night,
Thank you.
guys.
For the ZBA, Grace S. Sutton.
Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the town. This is a pending variance application for a site on Flying Point Road in the Hamlet of Watermill that has frontage on Mecox Bay and contains tidal wetlands. The recommended advisory comments first note that this is a site where the Conservation Board has adopted a resolution of conditional approval to authorize residential development. That approval was contingent upon submittal of a revised survey and filing of a covenant in order to establish the required wetland preservation area and wetland buffer. As the requisite survey and draft covenant have yet to be received, the actual wetland permit has not yet been issued. Second, the comment is made that while the project plans that were submitted with the variance application appear to be generally compatible with the conceptual drawings that were considered by the Conservation Board, the recommendation is made that no decision should be rendered with regards to the requested area variance till the required revised survey has been received and stamped approved by this board. Thank you.
Motion to send these comments to the ZBA?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The administrative wetland permits are in your packets. Resolution of conditional approval, A023041, Jennifer Standing. The applicant requests postponement to February 7th.
Motion to postpone to February 7th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A023050, Abby Patricus. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Abby Patricus for the proposed project by the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A023097, Dwayne Fiedler and Joanne Fiedler. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Duane Fiedler and Joanne Fiedler for the proposed project by the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review signature determination A022082, Erlinda Bildner, and this is postponed to February 7th.
Motion to postpone to February 7th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A022101, Eric Belfi and Tara Belfi.
This is a plan for residential redevelopment of a property on Cold Spring Point Road in the hamlet of Tuckahoe that fronts on Cold Spring Pond, contains tidal wetlands. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated November 16, 2023. As indicated by the report, this is a site wherein the board had approved an alternate redevelopment plan some years ago. The landowner has decided not to go forward with that plan and instead has submitted a new design for the site. This is property where I spent a considerable amount of time working with the applicant in order to try and get the most environmentally sound plan for the site. I provided a detailed sketch to the applicant showing how their needs could be met in a manner where the new residence would be situated further landward of wetlands, and the existing buffer would be significantly expanded upon. The applicant has agreed to come forward with a plan that is wholly consistent with my sketch and my recommendations for this site. Accordingly, this is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, the public hearing requirement can be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 023022, Jerome Savadier, and this is postponed to February 7th.
Motion to postpone to February 7th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 023057, NTS Mecox LLC.
This application relates to a residentially developed property in the hamlet of Bridgehampton. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated January 19, 2024. The applicant is seeking approval of conservation and management measures, namely selective cutting and removal of Phragmites and invasive non-native vegetation within an extensive covenanted buffer and conservation easement area. The property has some history in that previously I had issued an administrative wetlands permit that allowed for Phragmites management. That permit had been renewed several times. Unfortunately, at some point, a different crew came in and mistakenly cleared all of the vegetation within the easement and covenanted buffer. So the applicant has sought another renewal of the prior administrative permit. I denied it because of those impacts, but the matter got resolved by a new administrative permit that required that the affected areas be restored by allowance for natural vegetative succession and recovery. Good news that the area came back real well. The Phragmites that has reappeared is quite sparse. There's fairly good biodiversity there in terms of fauna and flora. So the January 19, 2024 advisory report does support issuance of the requested permit. This is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor? Opposed? A 023061, Blooming Investors LLC.
This is a new application for residential redevelopment of property that contains a ranch along the waterfront on Little Neck Road in Shinnecock Hills. There is an advisory report dated January 18, 2024. Some years ago, the board had approved plans for redevelopment and had issued a wetlands permit. However, the applicant never commenced the authorized work. They have come forward with a new plan that is fairly similar to the prior approved plan. It does, of course, call for installation of IA or OWTS instead of a conventional system. The residents would be sited just a little bit closer to the wetlands than formerly approved. So I've recommended that the buffer be expanded and maximized at the site, which the applicant at this time is amenable to. This is an area of Little Neck Road that is highly vulnerable to flooding. In fact, when I inspected the property after one of the last several coastal storms, I had to drive through about 2 feet of water just to get to the residence, and the flood rack line had gone right up to the existing ranch. So the new residence will be elevated on pilings, and the new plans are much better environmentally for the site and will better protect the property owner from storm and flood damage. This is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, I'm recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-8 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 023063 Rivendell Mecox LLC.
This is an application that seeks approval for residential redevelopment of a developed property containing tidal wetlands in Watermill. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated January 22nd, 2024. The entirety of the existing residence and associated landscape and hardscape would be demolished and removed, with the exception of an existing swimming pool and partial patio area that was permitted by this board and is in great shape. There is an existing covenanted buffer. However, I have recommended that that buffer be expanded in order to offset the impacts of this large project. The sketch that you're seeing on the screen would provide for a buffer that ties in well with the natural habitat on the abutting property to the south, as well as with the existing covenanted buffer on recently redeveloped property to the north. That being said, this is an application for which we have sufficient information to make a determination. As such, recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And now, Kelly, you can explain the draft local law that you're proposing for
Yes,
325.
I have a copy in your packet. Before this goes to the town board for a public hearing, I wanted to run it by this board first to see if you're okay with the proposed amendments and if you had any questions. These are very minor, just to really clean up the code and make it conform to current practice.
Was this your idea, Kelly, or?
Yes, it was. It
Okay,
was my idea.
okay. I just wanted to know where it originated.
Well,
that's
it originated because we were looking at 325-8C1, and that's the notice of public hearing, and it actually says that the town is supposed to cause notice of such hearing to be published in the official town newspaper and one additional newspaper of general circulation. And I believe that was interpreted to mean, so the town newspaper is the Southampton Press. It has an Eastern edition and a Western edition. So I believe that was interpreted to mean two newspapers being both editions, but the town newspapers actually incorporates both of those editions. So this reads, it's actually supposed to be the Southampton Press plus an additional newspaper. But none of the other boards do that. Town board doesn't do that. Planning, ZBA, as far as Marty's been here longer than I have, he never recalls that the Conservation Board has ever published in an additional paper other than the Southampton Press. So I just wanted to clean that up in the code in case someone looks at that and interprets that to think that we should be publishing in an additional newspaper. And then while we're,
No, excuse me, so the official town newspaper, you're interpreting that as being both editions of the Southampton Press?
yes, the town board actually adopts a resolution, I believe it's every year, designating an official newspaper for the town, and it's actually the Southampton Press Eastern and Western edition.
Okay.
As one, even though it's technically two different editions, it's
Yeah, but it should go
still-
into both.
Right, yep. So, then the second thing was just to, in the definition of boundaries of a wetland, there was a reference to a manual, entitled Ecological Communities of New York State. That was, in the code, it references, March 1990 version. That was, updated, some amendments to that, and then just in case that's ever updated again, we just wanted to refer to that as the most recent edition of the manual, rather than saying every time it's amended. If it happens to be amended again, we would have to update the code again to reference the most, so we could just say the most recent edition.
No, that's good, because that came up at a couple of hearings.
Exactly,
You know, that
yes.
Marty was using what was, in our law, and other people were citing another one. So
Something
I
else.
think that's good.
Right, so we just want to update it to say the most recent one. Any questions? Okay, so we'll put this on for a public hearing for the town board, just to, that's the procedure we have to do to get this, adopted to amend the code.
I think those are great additions,
Yeah.
great clarifications.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.